Well, talk about being arbitrary. Got nothing else going on this afternoon. Hadn't been online in a while. Decided I'd try a live stream. Get the frog out of my throat. See, give you something nice to look at in the background. Hey, shalom. There is Jesus, there is Patriot Farmer, and a Ledwin Mayor. Shalom, shalom, and Susan Hoskins. Finally catching a live stream. Yay! Right? Mine are very arbitrary. I do apologize. I can't get into having a schedule. We're retired, and I just would rather wing it. Just wing it. Shalom. Shalom, shalom. David, Michelle Vance, and Vicky, shalom, and Mike Gothberg, and C103, shalom, everybody. Thank you to all crew members who bought shirts. That was for you all. That was not my intention, but I didn't mind trying it out because you all were saying, yeah, channel shirts. So thank you for that, and they should be on their way. Hey, Aid, I have found retirement busier in some ways. So do we. What did I do today? I did a couple of things today. I was working on my hoop house for my ducks. I'm trying to get some vinyl sides up on them to kind of enclose it a little bit better. Not the ducks, if it rains, they don't care. But just to kind of make it warmer in there in case we've got younger ducks or ducks who want to have babies. And so I was working on that and moving goats. Hey, Lynn, shalom. And I have to take care of all my animals every day. That's, an hour or two. Oh, when I planted some plants, because I went to Lowe's and they had their bushes on sale, half price. So I bought a couple more bushes and I took them down to the orchard and planted them. So yeah, there are days when Pastor and I are super busy. And I think to myself, why? We're retired, but it's kind of also that thought process where if you have nothing going on, you're going to be kind of too sedentary. So you've got to have a little bit of something. Viking on. Yes. Crew on also. And hello all. Hang on. Jess, I am fairly new subscriber. Enjoy your insights. Thank you. Thank you very much. I do try to have some insights. I do try to take facts and string them together where I think they relate. Because I think that's really what life is about. Anyway, what is next? I don't know. What do you guys think is next for our country? I've said in the past, I thought this whole election will be settled in the courts because of the allegations of voter fraud. And I saw today one of the lawsuits, I think it was in Michigan, where they said not enough Republicans got to view the ballots. The judge threw that out because at the time they brought the suit, the counting was almost done. And she said, well, this is, you can't go back in time kind of thing. It didn't matter by the time they got that lawsuit in because most of the votes had already been counted. I don't know. I don't pretend to know. I do know this, that if you're told no by one judge, you can appeal and try to get a different judge and present the same facts and see if the other judge will see it your way. Let's see. Shalom, one old man and Yah Steve Wilson. Aid thinks it's a fix. He's in England, so he's kind of got a more objective point of view there. It certainly seems kind of hinky. But what's next? If Biden's doesn't, if it doesn't fall out that way and the votes get recounted and Trump wins, what do you guys think the Biden followers are going to do? Our faith should not lie over who is in the White House. Bernie EOD. I completely agree. This is two separate things for me. The person in the White House, to me, is Caesar, because the White House is the worldly government, if you would. It's the national government. Whatever country you're in, say you're in Canada, Trudeau is your leader of the country, but that does not necessarily mean that Trudeau is the spiritual leader for the country and the spiritual leader that, as a believer, you would follow. Because even when the Jews are in Rome, they have to follow Roman law, but their leaders are the Sadducees and the Pharisees and the elders. They're not following Caesar for what their daily life is about. And so the national perspective is only important in that it's your secular life that may be affected. And for people like Pastor and I, who are military retirees, that sometimes affects our life in the way that, the retirement pay or the benefits or whatever. But he and I have gone through multiple presidents in our country, and, our daily life, how we interact with each other and other people, is not really affected by that. Let me see what your comments are. Okay, Patriot Farmer, not sure what you're talking about. Colleen says, right. I think at this point the integrity of our election system is not going to be the same. They have achieved their goal. Check this off the list, and I do think they have a list. And there's NWA Prepper. Shalom, brother. Shalom from Pacific Northwest, Bad Wabbit. Hey, how's it going up there? If Republicans keep the Senate, divided government is okay with me. It is all too big and bloated, though. Well, the more bureaucracy you have, the more inefficiency you have. I will say that. I think our government could definitely be streamlined as far as forms and what's required of people and how many people are running it. I mean, our country is a very large country, but I do think it's very inefficient, our government. There are enough rhinos in the GOP side of Senate to cross the aisle. Okay. But, excuse me, what bee bug that was. Cities will riot. Good, let them riot. They'll be smiting their own. Matt Habir. That's something that we talked about. If the election, because the people declaring the election right now have no legal standing. The AP Newswire and the CNN and whoever, they don't get to decide who is the president. They can say he's the president-elect. It doesn't matter. What matters is the law. And I'm not talking about Bible law. I'm talking about civil law, secular world law. And if he is declared not the winner, I do think there'll be riots. But I also think you're right. I think they'll be in the cities. And, okay, you wreck your own city. You still have to live there. You still have to deal with what you've wrought. That's kind of how I look at it. Okay. Hey, Sergeant Jane, shalom. I don't think it's going to matter. Either way, violence escalates in our streets. Paperwork for paperwork. It's true. AP very irresponsible to call election. Should be sanctioned. Well, Aledwin, we have a free press. We have a First Amendment. So who would sanction them? The best sanction in our country is public opinion. So if people just stop going to the AP Newswire or stop looking online at their articles and stuff and stop supporting papers that use their stories, that's basically a boycott. And that's what choice we have, unless you want to get in the legal ring and like try to sue them or something. But I don't think you'd have much standing there. Thank you. Something else that I noticed, and I said it in a recent video, people should be protesting in the street. They should, absolutely. And conservatives, we don't really want to do that. We want our lives to stay the same, and we want to just continue on in what we're doing. But if people were right now in the streets holding up signs that say, Biden is not my president, Biden is not my president, get rid of Biden, Biden and Kamala suck, the press might have to report it, and then that gets out there. And we have a right to do it anyway. So why not? Like I said, if you're pro-life, get out there and pro-life protest. If you're for, people wearing checkered clothing, get out there and protest. You have a right. And if someone covers it in the news, then more people see your point of view. I think there should be more. I think there should be at least two groups as big and as organized as Antifa and BLM for conservative things. And I think it's entirely possible. I think Mormons against abortion and Catholics against abortion in America could pull out some protests big time. I watched the speech last night just to see what they said. The way they said something was a bit off to me. Jesus, I am sure protesting peacefully at the Capitol building is going on. Well, good, Teresa. That should happen. Time to think like Israel under its bad kings. We can't mix, Bernie, we cannot mix the kings that Israel had versus Caesar, because the kings that Israel had were Israelite kings. They were chosen, born into whatever, the office of ruling Israel. Now, if we tried to get some people to represent Israel and then stuck our foot in the political circle, doesn't always go well. Render under Caesar what belongs to Caesar, but it also says once you enter the legal system, you're caught. They got you. So if we say, I don't know, just pick somebody. There's not a lot of leaders that I'm willing to get behind. Because that person, the way for that person to get power in America would be to run for an office. Like, okay, let's just say there's a guy, his name is Mike Peebles, and he runs a church in Missouri. If Mike Peebles runs for Congress in Missouri and gets an office, he may have some say then. But he's not going to be able to be like, everybody's got to do Torah from there, because everyone still has a right. So I don't know. I don't know, Bernie. I don't know about that. I have to vent. Go ahead and vent, y'all. Go ahead and vent. So if Biden stays, if for whatever reason the legal thing falls and Biden now is president, I've heard a couple of things he's already said he's going to do. One of them is reunite the 500 children who have been separated from their families and have been in Border Patrol custody for a while. And then someone in my immediate area said, I don't want my taxpayer money doing that. I thought, okay, if you're an illegal immigrant and you come up here and you're a child, are we responsible, is America responsible for finding that child's parents, or is the home country responsible for finding those child's parents? Oops, I have to vent for a quick second. We have done this. We did this. We let this happen. Well, it's true. What about his involvement with the Sun Hunter and that scandal about getting money and all that is not under investigation? I heard the FBI is investigating that. And that's a really good point, Colleen. Rome under Nero. Right. Rome under Nero. Nero is burning Christians, supposedly. There were uprisings, but it's really hard for a very small movement to overcome a very large government. It wasn't until the barbarian invasions of the Visigoths and the Ostrogoths and everybody else, and they had already been in the Roman military and learned their tactics and had thousands and tens of thousands of soldiers, did they come and sack Rome. I think there were 3 Jewish rebellions under Rome, and they all 3 ended badly, including the one at Masada where everybody jumped off the cliff. I mean, and where were the Pharisees and Sadducees under Nero? What were they doing? You know what I mean? Like, you might run an underground guerrilla organization, but you're not going to go into out and out battle with Rome. What about his involvement with the Sun Hunter? Okay. Department of Justice, I think, has to decide to actually prosecute that. And so if it happens, they're going to have to get a lot more evidence, and they should bring charges. They absolutely should bring charges. I'm with you on that, Colleen, because how can he be president if he's a criminal? Okay. Give to Caesar what is Caesar, to Yah what is Yah. So Paul commanded the church not to rebel. Rebellion is not the answer. You have such a command of historic knowledge. Just awesome. Well, thanks, Bad Wabbit. I mean, we all do. I think of it. I mean, I sometimes make the mistake of thinking that I think like everybody. And I told my kids that too. And then they got to college and said, Ma, we're not like everybody. So maybe I'm wrong about that. But uh, my son's, I mean, my son is a history teacher. My husband was a political science major, so I've heard things. Plus, I've studied. You know, I'm reading about Alexander Hamilton now. I've read books about the founding fathers and different wars and all kinds of things. And we all should have this. We're all citizens. What if Joe Biden is part of our national punishment for the 40-ish years of infanticide? Okay, so Michael Dirt Design Bear. Interesting concept. National punishment. Okay, so I want to look at it this way. You're equating our country to Israel as a body. And it is true that the American government and country was founded on Christian principles. It absolutely was. But is it the chosen country of God? No. No. Jerusalem is his city. Israel is his country. That part of the world is where he gave his tribe pieces of property. So America does not have special dispensation, in my opinion. Okay? So if our government has been doing something bad, like infanticide, I think Yahweh's going to punish the individual people. And his punishment for a country is his country, or some other countries, is a country invading that country. Rome fell, right? Rome fell. The pagans came along and took Rome. So I don't know that Biden could be considered punishment. I just think it's our political machine that has been infiltrated by the communists for years. And I don't think Yahweh approves of communism because they don't believe in God. But I think he will use things to punish his people. So our American Christian belong to God? That's a really good question. And knowing what I know about a lot of the churches, I would say no. Because of what they teach and how they teach it. Love the sinner, hate the sin is not a biblical concept. If we look at Joel Osteen and the prosperity ministry, just no. It's a lot of no. But as far as people who know his truth, oh yeah, he'll whammy us if we veer off. Once you know his truth and veer off, you're going to get whammied, either personally or in a group. Okay, so keep going. Shalom, lamp keeper, not someone else. We the people. It makes me frustrated with all the blaming and no self-responsibility. So what do we change going forward to negotiate through this and keep our Constitution intact? Okay, Lynn, good question. And I think I'm probably falling behind in comments because I'm looking at a comment and we are not to rebel, but if the rule of law collapses, all bets are off. I'm not willing to say that either, Bernie. But anyway, what do we do to keep our Constitution on? You raise your children up to be lawyers, and they start getting in the court system, and they fight for the Constitution. And get your children to be judges, so when the cases come before them, they can decide on the side of the Constitution. I mean, that's a very secular thing, but that is a practical way to do things. Okay. Good day, all again. Shalom, Sister Kate. A nice day there. Thank you, Homestead, Australia. I wanted you guys to see the woods behind us. We got fall here and the colors and everything. God appoints which nation rise to preeminence. God picks his nation. If you don't partake of her sins, then you don't receive of her plagues. That's also a good point, Sarah, because while Rome is doing what it's doing, if you're minding your P's and Q's and you're right with the Lord, he's going to take care of you. Rome was judged. But was it Yah who judged Rome, or did Rome just fall apart? Hello, Mrs. West S. Shalom. Yes, Sarah, come out of her, my people. That's it. Like, Pastor Nye's life is not going to change much. I made that point. Thank you very much for wisdom. Communism is the beast system. Communism is definitely a problem. I mean, it's just a bad government. Okay, but Bernie, we cannot... I don't have my book here. Can you quote Romans 18 to 32? Because, again, I don't think he cared about Rome. I really don't. I don't know if that's already been covered. Hey, Aid, why do you think the U.S. is not in Revelations about the end times? Pamela Hyde, good question. I don't see U.S. anywhere in that book. I think that book is specific to the area and to his people. I think all the countries talked about in Revelation is Middle East. Right there, Israel and surrounding. That's my opinion. There's a good reason why there was Cold War with Russia. And why Russia infiltrated England in World War II. Rome was judged after it declared itself Christian. The whole verse, Bernie, please. No nation falls without the hand of God in it. Okay, so let's talk about Thailand and Burma. You think God's in on the hand, his hand is in on Thailand and Burma? You think he cares about those two? Gave them over to degrading their passions. That's talking about believers. That's not talking about Romans. God is definitely taking care of us. Look how he's joined us all together on the internet before things got worse. Right, he takes care of his people because that's who he cares about. That's what that whole book, again, my opinion, you guys are asking questions. I'm not trying to sermonize to you. I'm answering your questions. Everything in that book relates to his people. He tells them specifically, his prophets come, they don't go to Caesar and say, unless they're told to, okay, sometimes they're told to go to other leaders, but mainly they go to his leaders, and he tells them, tell my leader, get my people in order. They're following some pagan thing, and I don't like it, and if they don't, I'm going to whammy them. That's how he operates. He doesn't say, all right, I'm going over to the Assyrians, and I'm going to tell them you got to quit following Moloch, or I'm going to whammy you. He doesn't care about the Assyrians. He uses them if he needs to come invade his people, but what's going on out there, he's not that concerned of because they're not keeping Torah. They're not following him. Hubby and I are closing on our new homestead on the 19th. We're coming out on our way. Yay! Okay, Romans 13 says, no nation rise without the hand of God. Romans 13 is also about believers. The whole thing is about believers. The leaders they talk about in Romans 13 are leaders, believers, not other leaders. Bad Wabbit, congratulations and welcome to coming out of her, my people. Awesome. All right. All right, so I'm all caught up. So looking back again at what the world may look like if Biden and Kamala come to power. He's talked about reuniting those kids. He's talked about putting gun control back into, I'm going to outlaw more magazines, and I'm going to do this, that, and the other thing, which has been done in the past, and it makes no difference. Criminals still act up. D.C. outlawed private firearms, and the murder rate in D.C. went up. New York City has, no one's allowed to own a private firearm up there, and they got a huge murder rate. So Biden's promising things that people have promised in the past, and it's not going to go anywhere. It's not going to make a difference, except it's going to make it harder for law-abiding citizens. In the Bible, it says Jews are Jews today. We say Jewish. Do you think it's because we don't follow the real and true laws? No. So I looked into that. Jews in the Bible are believers who live in Judah. Judah was an area around Jerusalem, and when all the Israelites are taken into captivity, some of Judah and another tribe or two, can't remember which one it is, are left there. Everyone goes to Babylon and they come back. When they come back, they just kind of join in with Judah, and now they're called Jews. Modern day Jews say, because of all the horrible things that happened in World War II, they don't know anymore what, paternity, because Jewish women got pregnant by German guys and whatever. They don't know the bloodlines exactly anymore, and you were supposed to be of, Judah or Simeon or Levi or Reuben. Well, they couldn't find that out. So now the identity is of Jewish comes through the mom, and they all call themselves Jews, even though they know they're not all from Judah, from the tribe of Judah. That's what a Jewish woman that I talked to about that told me. I said, okay, I can kind of see the reasoning there. But the thing about being a believer now is nobody knows your bloodline, and you're not necessarily of Judah. You're an Israelite. You are grafted in the tree of Israel. That's what it says in Romans 11. Talking out loud and saying nothing, that's Biden. Well, it's true. I purchased the Apocrypha today, seen pastor's sermon. I hope you enjoyed. There's some interesting stories in there. We're not supposed to listen to man's teaching or government. We're supposed to follow the Lord commandment. We can't see his big picture. You're correct, Pamela. However, doesn't mean you can't. Yeah, Benjamin, Lampkeeper. I think you're right, Benjamin. Doesn't mean you can't know that stuff. Doesn't say you have to be ignorant of that stuff. You should, as an American citizen, you have duties to be an American citizen. You need to understand your rights and the government you live under so you can be law-abiding, even in their laws, unless their laws go against Yah's laws, just like sometimes it happened in Rome and other places, and the people with Daniel and said, no, I'm not going to bow down and worship that statue. If the federal laws go against Yah's laws, then we have to say, no, I can't do that for religious reasons. But rendering unto Caesar is also being a citizen. You have to live in that country. If they require you to pay taxes, you pay the taxes. If they say stop at the stop sign, you stop at the stop sign. You don't just because we're not under a system that's only Israel. If you want to live only by God's commandments, and you have to make your own country and install the way his legal stuff works and everything else. And we're not there. We're in captivity. So you can't just ignore it. You got to get a driver's license or you're going to get arrested. You're supposed to stay out of that. You're not supposed to get arrested. Makes sense, Colleen says. Okay. This is my belief. I mean, y'all believe what you want. I'm not trying to make you into my followers that way. Absolutely not. But this is the reasoning that I base how I'm living right now. If I went into Lincoln and they said, hey, we're going to start stealing stuff from each other, I'd have to be like, no, sorry, can't do that thing. But I stop at the stop sign and I turn my turn signal on and I go inside, and when I buy something, I pay the price. I don't try to, haggle anybody. I follow those rules. Okay. All right. So, excuse me. Biden's going to reenact gun control. He said he's going to raise taxes. Awesome. Pastor and I already pay about 30%. Yay. I'm just so excited that they want to take a third of the money that we make and give it to somebody else. Because when the taxes go into our federal government, they allot them back out, right? Some of it goes to support the military. Some of it goes to print money. Or in this case, the Fed prints the money. That's not right. To pay the salaries of our senators and our congressmen. And some of it goes to keeping the roads and road signs and everything up. And then some of it goes to, Golden Fleece Award type things like experimenting and finding the thicker ketchup, or funding abortions in third world countries, things like that. So, yeah, I'm not excited if Biden gets more of my money, but I don't have a lot of choice. Also, the climate accord, the Iran deal, and increasing taxes, etc. So there's a really good uh, representative down in Texas named Daniel Crenshaw. He's in the second district down there, and he's got an Instagram, and he is awesome in that he talks about what is actually on the laws are on the floor of the House and what kind of things are trying to get passed. And the climate accord is nothing but a stranglehold on our country. It's going to make us have to obey stuff when our country is not the main polluter in the world. China is. And so yeah, I think it was a great thing that Trump got out of that deal and out of NAFTA and a bunch of other things. The Iran deal, where I forget how that went, but wasn't it where Obama gave them $150 million in cash and said, yeah, you can go ahead and make a nuclear reactor? China and India, exactly. Biden stated he will pass executive orders to reverse a lot of Trump's work, right? And the executive order thing didn't really become something the executive branch was using to get around laws until Obama. And I guess the Bushes did a little bit of that too. But see, our government is supposed to have checks and balances. So I don't know what the check is for executive orders. I don't know if there's a way for the House to block them, or if he gets just to make them, or if the Supreme Court can strike them down. But yeah, it's probably going to be a mess. The war against God. Hey, Sister Kate, it's Alden's son. Hey, how are you, young man? We will be overrun by China. It will be their rules, Lori Hubert says. China is a long view country. China is big, and China never does anything fast. They've been around for 5,000 years as a culture, and so they're willing to give and take a lot. And what has been happening with China is, I think President Bush Sr. was ambassador to China, and he opened up China as far as money. And then the Clintons and Walmart just got hand in hand with China, and we have been, doing business with China through Walmart for a good 10, 20, 30 years, and all our Walmart money is going to fund their military. So China's going to be strong enough to really start throwing its weight around soon. And they probably will want to, because they've been taken, they've been getting punched in the nose since the early 1900s. And they've been taking a lot of stuff, and they're probably going to get tired of it. Now, are they going to try to invade America? I don't know. I think they're smart enough to know that there's a lot of people here who don't want that. But could they get political influence through all their money? Yes, they already have. Hunter and Joe Biden are a perfect example. Hey, Lone Star Living, how your little lammies? 150 billion. Nice, Sergeant James. Thanks for that. Courts can reverse executive orders. Okay, Wes S says. So see there, it's part of the checks and balances. So if Biden makes them and we don't like him, then somebody can take him to court. Clinton was the first to make use of executive orders after the 94 midterm. I think the Bushes did them too. Shalom, Sister Kate. Hey, read Sun Tzu and the Art of War. Hey, Aid. "1% control the world, 4%. The vote isn't. Our sellout puppets, 90% are comfortably asleep, 5% are aware and trying to wake up. The 90%, the 1% don't want the 5% waking up the 90%. Out of her, my people, and I'm thankful I found you and Pastor Joe Fox and Bear, because I've been doing the things. Thank you for taking the time out of your day." You're welcome, Pamela. No invasion. The philosophy of Sun Tzu will win without the military. Right. I just can't see them wanting to actually invade. They're already spending money. They're buying up ports and all sorts of things there. They run every business in Malaysia. Every single business in that whole country. The banks, The little shop that repairs your bicycle, the frame makers are all run by the Chinese. We'll have to worry about Biden. It's definitely not over yet. Trump was ready for this election. Of course, it may be the end of December before the dust settles. And it can be even later than that. It could take months. What's this? 3 surgeries still to go. Holy moly. What job operated on? Second, what Pamela Hyde said, I really don't believe any country will put boots on our soil until our government figures out how to disarm us. Exactly. Have you ever thought about growing rice? I've thought about it, but I'm not very experienced in it, and you need a lot of water. And when you live off grid, that's a little bit harder to do. Now, there are some Hmong people in my area that I am semi-friendly with, and one of the grandmas who, is a little bit older than me had brought black rice over with her and grew it in her garden, and she just watered it every day with the hose. And well, I won't go into that. All right. 70 people in here and only 28 thumbs up. Smash the thumbs up button. We will see what happens January 20th. That's the date that matters. Exactly. Right now, he's still president. It doesn't matter what they say, do, whatever. He is still president until the inauguration. The lambs are great. It's nice to have another sustainable protein source. That's exactly right. China's buying up America now, though it looks like Australia. First it will fall, then Canada, and America last. Checkmate. I had brain surgery. They couldn't find anything. Boom. I had brain surgery, West S, and they found extra blood vessels because I needed extra power. I wonder how much land you'd need to grow 100 pounds a year of rice. You can probably Google that and find out. Still praying, Garden Bee Aunt TK says, always a good idea. Trump is the only one who will stand up to China. Obama and Biden just empty their wallets to them. True. He made them pay. I'm not saying Trump didn't do a deal with them, but he definitely made them pay. Sister K, maybe you are a superhero. I'd seriously doubt that. Individual states do not certify results until the end of November, beginning of December. Those certified results are forwarded to the Electoral College. Electoral College forwards votes to Congress. And somebody made the point last night that the Electoral College hasn't voted yet. Now, I'm not sure about that. I thought once so many electoral votes were won at the state level, you just tally them all up. But somebody said the Electoral College can say, no, we don't agree with that, and we want the other guy to be in power. So that could also happen. All right. The hubby says 3 acres for 100 pounds. And that's not a lot. I mean, 3 acres is not huge. You have to look somewhere else on your body. They have to vote on the 8th. They have some options, but they are limited. Electoral College votes on December 20th. You don't need a lot of water for rice. They flood the paddies for easy weed control, but you can do it the way your friend did with a bit more work. Small grain rice is grown in California. Interesting. John Chasson or Chasen. Media should not be allowed to call anything until it's official. I agree, but our press is a free press, so they can say it, and what they're trying to do is sway opinion with it. Now, if the court reverses this, leftists will go insane. Right now, it should still be in limbo. Nothing should have been announced. I agree, and I think they will go insane, but I think they're going to trash their own cities, and a lot of the rioting is happening in Democrat-owned cities, and so I think the Democratic governors may have their hands full. Seems like the Republican Senate are already butting up to Biden. One of my sisters yesterday was saying that none of the press, the normal press, the NBC, ABC, CNN, are showing the Republicans who are outraged at what's been going on. And she said they are there and they are angry, but they're not getting any voice in our national press. Look at the bright side. The fake media is keeping the rioters at bay for a while. Arthur, that's funny. Seems like this. Okay. Okay. So taxes go up. More immigrants. Didn't he say he'd increase the amount of immigrants flowing into the country? More Democrats, more crime. Um, reversing some of the deals to reversing those deals also will probably require extra tax money. That's why he's going to up the taxes, because then he can get us, contract to do other things that waste taxpayer money. Um, did I say gun control? I said gun control. Could be other things too, like we're going to not let you use your wood stove, and we're not going to let you burn your trash, and we're not going to let you catch rainwater. None of that, because, it's all precious and you're not allowed to do any of those things. It's all censored, which is ridiculous. We have a free press. Censoring is bad. It's by design to brainwash the sheeple. Now they will be afraid to give it to Trump, even if the courts want to. The outcry to Trump, right? But public opinion shouldn't sway that. Public opinion, the popular vote still doesn't elect the president. Hernia, lower, rupture, oh my goodness, aneurysm of the aorta. Now, your aortal aneurysm is in your stomach, correct? Kidney stones, Worthington tumor still removed, developed diabetes too. Oh my goodness. Woo. You need some prayers, brother. Media are gaslighting the public to sway opinion before official decision. Exactly. Well, sorry. I hope I didn't do something bad right then. I'm just trying to scroll up. Damaged nerves in my knee and a fall while moving. Can't play drums anymore. Upper and lower digestive tract are bleeding. Lower intestinal abscess. Holy cow. You are having a time of it, brother. That's why this whole thing is just mute. MSN is also saying projected winner. Very important verbiage, and people are really ignorant of how the system works. That's exactly right, Lynn. When you're an American citizen, it's your responsibility to understand how this all works. And if you don't know and you're like, boo, 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 I don't understand, that's your fault. You can educate yourself right now by going to Google or opening an encyclopedia or reading some books. And that's the dumbing down of our education system and the taking of fathers out of household, because a lot of times dad's the one sitting there reading the newspaper talking about politics. And we have a generation of kids who don't know any better and are easily led around. The ones sitting there playing video games all the time, they can't think. My opinion. Getting divorced from my ex was the best thing that could have happened to me. You wouldn't believe how much they've been debating me about the benefits of socialism. Oh my gosh, that's terrible. I pray, ma'am. Trust me, I pray. Right? Pray and fast. Prices for gas, heating, oil, propane will go up, as well as electric bills go up. Propane, here's a clue. Propane's been going up. Propane's been steadily going up. I remember when the 2 little bottles of propane were $2.58 maybe for 2 of them, and now they're $7.78. It's ridiculous. It's the reason you want to try to get to be energy independent. The price of gas is going back up. Of course it is, because Trump was a businessman, right? He's going to let the gas and oil industry do their job so they can sell cheap oil. But as soon as you start regulating everything and denying people opportunity and everything else like that, the prices go back up because it gets harder for them to make it. How about when the Michigan governor banned the sale of vegetable seeds a while back? But that's a local thing. If I was in that state, that would be the time for you to try to sue over that. All right. All I follow as truth is Trump's tweets until they ban him there, that is. Right. And that's a whole deal right there. Biden brought up, and I've heard liberals say, it's embarrassing the way our president tweets. He shouldn't be doing that. The press wouldn't report things he was saying truthfully, and he had no choice. He went from giving news to the news media to giving news directly to the people. And they made him do that. That's why his press conferences changed dramatically. Remember how he used to hassle Sarah, the press used to hassle Sarah Huckabee, and then there was a guy before her, and they used to sass him, and he'd be like, no, that's not what I'm saying. So Trump just said, forget it. I'm going to tweet directly to my citizens. He will stop fracking. Hey, Matthew. My ex told me that Germany was a socialist country, proved him wrong. Exfil came back to prove me wrong and posted about a socialist party that exists in Germany. There's a lot of socialist parties in Europe. I had to explain the difference between government system and party. It was fun. Good. We went through that in February here. No seed sales. And at the end of May, we finally had seed sales. And it is really up to the governor if she doesn't want, if she doesn't allow seed sales, what she's saying is Walmart, Lowe's, TSC, hold your seeds. And she can do that if she thinks, they're going to be super important. And then the state can just say, all right, you're going to give all your seeds to the state, and we're going to control food sources and stuff. That's why you want to grow your own. All right. Thumbs up. Doesn't matter. Twitter is censoring all the president's tweets right now. Well, because Twitter is awful, and you can stop supporting Twitter too. You can be like, all right, I'm done. I'm closing my account down. I'm not doing it. Order them online and then bury them. Important to save your own seeds for sure, and to use heirloom. Twitter is just terrible. It's true. And what it's allowed, because I've been on there, not because I thought it was worth anything, but I wanted to see what the opposition was doing. It allows all those idiots, twidiots as I like to call them, to just pile on top of each other. Oh yeah, Trump sucks. And a million people, thumbs up, retweet, retweet. And just, it was bad in that they got to do all that. And they, we're going to have a protest here and show up and all that. Trump tax cut will go, enjoy. I have my own seed library. It's good to know they opened up the garden centers again. CEO of Twitter looks like a homeless person. Laugh out loud. I've never been on Twitter. I don't even know why I got on there. Probably someone told me, you'll grow your YouTube channel if you tweet too. I don't know, but I use it to look for news reports of Corona and what it's doing from real people, like doctors from a hospital, not a news agency. I look at it for the political stuff to see what's going on and to see what the twidiots are saying. I tweeted for a while, then I detweeted. Facebook and Twitter is being censored, something terrible. Hey, Facebook kicked me off. And so I'm been done with Facebook. And I know Facebook has its uses. Some people are using it to make money. They're selling things and looking in their area for things for sale and everything. And I think that's great. But I opened my account and I said, I'm Yaw's daughter Kate. That's me. And they said, okie dokie, open your account. And then 5-7 years later, they're like, no, you can't be that. You needed to give us your real name and your real information. And I said, hey man, we made a contract about 7 years ago, 5 years ago, an agreement, and you said this was fine. So I'm not changing. I want Yaw's daughter Kate to be my Facebook thing because I want to declare my faith. And they were like, sorry, and they booted me off. So I'm like, fine. Mark Zuckerberg, you get a 0 from this lady. I heard Parler is the new platform to go to for a Twitter-like experience. Have not been yet, don't know. Bad Facebook. They kicked you off? Yes, they did, years ago. Wes is hilarious. He's a funny fella. Biden wants a 90-day shutdown of what? Oh, BT Dubs. I'm only going to be on here an hour. I would love to sit and do like a 3-hour show, but as you see, the sun is starting to go down, and so I've got things I need to do. I have to take care of animals and stuff like that, so I will not be able to do a super, super long one. Hello from Texas. Apple announced today if Parler won't start censoring people, they are removing it from. Oh, nice. Okay. Free speech. Love it. Shalom, Sister Kate and Cruz, says Paula Joe Davis. Shalom. Shalom. Don't encourage Wes. They kicked me off Facebook for the same reason, Sister Kate. And that is Tinker Bell. They wanted, hang on. They wanted me to show that my name, Michigan Photographer and Crafts, was a business with a tax number. Haven't been back. Right? Just screw them. It gets dark around 5:15. I just hate it. I don't have any say in the matter. I cannot change when the sun goes down or anything, and I try to make sure everybody's in their coops and everything, and shut down before it gets completely dark, because I don't want to be doing that task in the dark. Shalom and blessings to you all. I pray find you well in this current mess. Thank you, Mr. Badger. Don't know how I'm still on Facebook, says Okie Storm Chaser. All the awful memes I share. Oh, man, I wish I could see him. You need to share him on the Instagram, too. And welcome, Okie Storm Chaser. I gotta say, I'm so done with the tech world. It's not funny. Can't wait to move. I mean, the tech world has its uses. It allows you to do some things like, you know, the YouTubes. I'm allowed to put my opinion out there and hopefully educate some people. But it can also be used in a bad way, and it has been. And that was always impossible. And remember, Al Gore made the internet, so you can blame him. Hey, Crystal Campbell. Am I reading that right? Yes, Crystal Campbell. It was great meeting you and PJ at Sukkot. Oh, remind me when and where that happened, because we met a lot of people, and old brain. Put the ducks to bed. Okay, y'all are just greeting each other right now. I know he's a celebrity, isn't he? Okay, Storm Chaser. He's got some awesome photographs. And he's a heck of a cook, too. David Campbell says, Shalom, PJD. You trying to say PJF? He is in a meeting right now, so he's actually not right around here. But I'll let him know that you guys sent your greetings. Sunrise, get up, go outside, work. Sunset, stop working, go inside and rest. My best friend was just banned from Facebook over a Biden meme. When she finished her time in Facebook jail, they wanted to see her driver's license. That's exactly what they did to me. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not doing it. You don't get to see my driver's license. Screw you. PJD1, that's me. Oh, Paula Joe Davis. Sorry. There we go. All right. And then back. Which is the real me? Shalom to BJF. Facebook.com suspending anyone sharing the Benford's Law info. I don't know what that is, Bad Wabbit. A very mean animal killed an entire village of women and children here. What are you talking about, Wes? I try the lamp keeper daylight at 6 a.m., dark by 5:30. Well, here it gets dark, and I'm not usually tired, but I don't want to be trying to wander around. I don't know if you can see, if I can show you. Like, see the rocks and stuff down there? Like, this place, for these old knees and ankles, not a good thing to try to do in the dark, even with a super cool Olight. Resorting the pantry is to listen any current news to know. I do not have any news because I haven't been looking at news. I don't want my blood pressure to go up, and I just figure I'll wait until some legal stuff happens. Skunk found my... What? Wait a minute. No! So you had a skunk up in your attic thing there, Wes? And it killed your bees? Wait, no. That's terrible. It's an algorithm which is used to find corruption in financial transactions, showing conclusively the Biden scam of voting irregularity. It's used in the courtroom to prove the discrepancy. And they're banning even talking about that. Somebody was talking to me about that today. They said that it's without a doubt that was being used to, 5 votes for Biden and 1 for Trump, 5 votes for Biden, 0 for Trump kind of stuff. Wow. Interesting. Well, the courts will decide. Go judicial branch. No, not the honeybees. I had a bumblebee nest in the parlor in the pasture for the past 3 years. It is no more. So, bumblebees. Yes, big. Okay. Well, I'm sorry, because bumblebees are good pollinators and they don't tend to attack anybody. I kind of like bumblebees. Hopefully our power... Wait a minute. On before dark. Need to figure out a wood stove for my place. Is it still out from the ice storm? You're right. People should not encourage your hubby. Pasture. I spell bad. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, bumblebees are, Oh, I hear a pastor returning. Okay. So under Biden, these are the things I plan to do. I plan to take care of my animals. I plan to grow my garden. I plan to work on my skills. And I plan to try to stay healthy and keep my faith. That's my big plan. Five things that I'm going to do if Biden's elected. I probably ought to do a video about that. Those are the ones. How about you guys? Ours went out just before noon, unknown cause. It's probably your neighbor's dogs chewing on the lines. I'm telling you. Okay, Mark, good to talk to you. So nothing changes there, Bad Rabbit. You're pretty smart. You caught on to that, did you? That's kind of how I look at it. Hey, Pastor.
Hello. I wanted to disturb you.
Agree, we'll do the same. Basically, same here. Yeah, not much will change. I actually report the loss of my guns in a boating accident.
Terrible boating accidents. They're happening everywhere.
They're everywhere. It's just so sad. They sink to the bottom of a lake, and who's going to go get them? I'm starting to feel less than secure in my sense of humor, people. I need encouragement. Don't listen to those negative people and say how funny I am. More! What are you going to do if Biden gets elected, sweetie?
Continue to work on my garden and finish my house and continue to build community and train our people.
Hello. Not a whole lot going to change, but that's always been the plan.
We're in the Ozarks. Nobody's coming here.
Right?
They don't care about us.
We love this life. We like this outdoor life. Rough as it is. I mean, that's the life we chose. I'm gonna try to do ducks.
Right. You're doing ducks.
I'm gonna do ducks. Probably gonna try to get a few more, but try to order any right now. Everyone's sold out. Hopefully some of my ducks will make more ducks. Some people said thank you for the sermon.
What?
Some people said thank you for the sermon. Stop voting when they start up again and 150,000 votes show up for Biden. It's magic. Bring. I need some scuba gear to get up all those guns from the tragic boating accidents. Right? Interesting. I know I'm scuba certified, but I don't even know if I'd bother trying to go down at the bottom of a lake. It's got to be dark and kind of funky. It's not going to be like swimming off the coast of Hawaii in the crystal clear water. Oddly, those neighbors aren't even on the same grid. Okay. All right. Well, I agree that you should get you a wood stove. You putting... All right. I found active deer tracks. Yes, me. I did too. I saw some today in our mud. We sold ours at a flea market, so we don't know where they are, right? Wow, that's probably gorgeous, Bad Rabbit. Thank you, sister. Be blessed. Pastor, we need a shofar mountain call. What do you mean by a shofar mountain call? Boats going down like crazy in the Midwest. Other than that, keep on prepping. I will say nothing about the sermon then. Take them outside the camp and stone them. Can't be dealing in no magic now. The father doesn't like it. He doesn't like that stuff. Get that stone set of rocks right up by the front gate. Send you pics. He wants the shofar to sound, maybe? Pastor's already down in the woods. Sorry. Y'all should have your own shofar. It's amazing the sound they make. It strikes me in the soul. All right, y'all. It's been an hour, so I'm going to get off line now. Thank you for swinging by. If you get your crew shirt, please take a picture and post it in the community section on the YouTube channel. I would love to see the one that you got and how it looks, because you saw mine. I have the seafoam green with the blue, and I think it looks okay. But you guys are going to choose different colors, and I would love to see what they look like. And if you don't mind me tasking you, what do you think a crew member should have? What kind of characteristics, if you don't mind listing that too? I'll see, maybe I'll put a poll up there or something. Thank you, Sister Kate. So good to catch your live stream. I'm glad. Family is in Illinois. Won't leave them. I caught 2 witches on October 3rd, but some big guy said I had to let them go and wouldn't let me burn them. Shalom to you. Love to you, sister. How about the black and the gold one? See, Sergeant James, I think that's going to be stunning. I mean, and I'm not a fashion dude, but I mean, or gal, but when I saw the pattern on the gold, I really thought it was sharp. So I would love to see that. And thank you so much. Great chat, everyone. Yes. Hang in there. It's going to be a bumpy ride. Get that seatbelt tight, but just hang in there, because we don't know what's going on right now. Bless you, Okie. Always good to see you. Yes, traits. What do you think the crew member traits should be? And I'm actually wondering if we should kind of, I don't know, try to plan a get-together or something? I don't know. Yeah, don't let your emotions rule you. Do not get caught up in all that mess. Just be patient. Be patient. All right. Bless you. Shalom, shalom, shalom. That means peace, by the way. Peace to you all. Peace. There we go.